What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Combat Sports Central. Today we're doing another best bet video. We're going to look at the first fight of the UFC Fight Night this Saturday, Dos Anjos versus Fiziev. We're going to take a look at Ronnie Lawrence versus Saidyokub Kakhramonov. I'm going to butcher his name so many times. If you guys don't know what we do in the Best Bet series, we take a look at their previous fights. We try to bring you guys information that'll keep you away from a bad bet and leave you with the best bet. By the end of the video, we should have a bet for you guys, so make sure you keep it tuned in here. But nonetheless, without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Starting in the lighter divisions, this UFC card, we'll start with the guys that really do everything very, very well. Wrestling, striking, movement, everything these guys do well. And we'll start on Ronnie Lawrence. Lawrence, 8-1, who's had a ridiculous spree of takedowns in his last couple fights. He's averaged 8.6 takedowns per fight across 3 fights so far in his young career. We'll start at Ronnie Lawrence versus Martinez, and what a crazy fight this one was. Lawrence started this fight real well. He showed real good movement, striking, and takedown-wise. He does a very good job creating space and shooting takedown attempts across the octagon. They're not really traditional wrestling takedowns, but they're really successful in mixed martial arts, as we've seen. He uses this movement as well to come inside and land a big right hand in this first round, dropping Martinez. In the second round, again, Ronnie having a lot of success striking, dropping a couple times, using his wrestling, ground and pound to do it all. He was probably up 20-17 going into the third round, but in that third round, Martinez comes back, cracks Ronnie Lawrence twice, knocking him down 2 times in a row. And this is where I kind of like the Ronnie Lawrence side, because if he's dropped like this, he always goes back to that wrestling. His wrestling is very good. To be honest, in this fight, though, Martinez didn't really show great takedown defense. Ronnie was shooting from anywhere, landing takedowns at all times here. Again, very good shots coming from outside, coming from good angles, landing these takedowns. But nonetheless, I think Mana could have been able to stop a couple more takedowns if he was his current opponent. His current opponent is going to be a lot better at stopping these takedowns. And submission-wise, Ronnie, even when hurt, did a great job recognizing when he's in trouble. And when he was in trouble on the feet, goes back to that wrestling. So it was a great performance from Ronnie Lawrence. He showed that if he does get hurt, he's able to take his opponent down and go to the wrestling. And his brain activates in these dangerous situations to put himself in safe spots and not go too risky on it. Some guys, when they're hurt, will continue to stand and throw shots, even if those shots are horrible. Ronnie's going to go to that wrestling background, them takedowns that he's been able to have so much success with, which is good for anybody who's riding the Ronnie Lawrence decision side, and maybe he's up 2 rounds, gets hurt in the third like he did in this fight, and may be able to continue, take his opponent down en route to a 3-round decision. But nonetheless, this fight gave me a good idea that Ronnie Lawrence striking, not elite, but very, very good, and his wrestling is very, very good for the division, and especially the guys he's going to be fighting currently. Then we'll go back to his Vince Cachero fight. He earned a Performance of the Night bonus in this fight and was able to TKO his opponent. Ronnie does show that he has good hands, power. He has good power. He's able to set up shots. His body shot, his 2-piece combo against Mana in the previous fight was great. In this fight, he's able to land some combinations. Continuing on, I think that this fight is a great representation of how over the period of the fight, over the prolonged 3-round fight, how much better Ronnie Lawrence's top control gets. We saw in the earlier rounds of this fight, in this Vince fight, and in the Mana fight that we looked at before this one, where in the first round, he's able to land takedowns. He was able to land like 4 takedowns in the Mana first round, but Mana is able to get back to his feet. Vince was also able to get back to his feet in this fight in the early rounds. But again, as the rounds went on, this is as Ronnie would start to hold on to his opponent, keep them down, and start landing some significant shots. And in this fight, at the end, in the middle of the third round, Ronnie was able to put his opponent away. Ronnie is an elite fighter when it comes to this division, and I think that he has a lot of potential to get into that top 15, and we're going to have to take a look at his opponent to see if there really is value in this Ronnie Lawrence side. I think after going over Ronnie Lawrence and the way he's been fighting in his past fights, that this line might see Ronnie Lawrence as like a -200, -300 favorite, but then you look at his opponent across the cage. I'm going to call him Saeed for this video because I don't want to mess up his name too many times and embarrass myself here, but nonetheless, Saeed is an extremely good fighter, and we will see examples of this in the first fight we look at, Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar is a highly touted prospect. Saeed made a stop in the PFL. He's fought in a bunch of different organizations, and in this fight I think we get to see a good portion of his skills when it comes to striking, when it comes to when he gets taken down, he's able to get back to his feet. He's able to fish for submissions. He's real fast. He doesn't really get tired, and in this fight we see it all. In the fight, Said is the one that pushes the pace in the striking in the early rounds, and although Umar is a great grappler and takes him down, he's unable to hold him down for any prolonged period of time in this fight. An extremely impressive performance. I don't know how much of Ronnie's game. Ronnie might be able to take him down. I'm guessing Ronnie will take him down once or twice, maybe 3 or 4 times in this fight. But Said is going to get back up, or he's going to fish for submissions. He's going to keep himself active the whole time. And then it comes down to the striking. Said's really fast. He's fast. We got his knockout in HFC. He knocked out Askar, who was 10-0 at the time, undefeated, with a crazy fast combination of strikes and a wild exchange. He was able to KO Tycen Lynn. He was able to submit Trevin Jones. It's just examples of how his grappling and his striking are so good. In this case, when comparing the two guys to come to a decision for the best bet, it's a real tough one for me to bet. Ronnie Lawrence fans might look at their last 3 performances without looking at Said's resume and go, how is Ronnie this small of a favorite after some of his performances? But for me, I really have a hard time betting this fight when the odds are this close. I think Ronnie's going to win. I give Ronnie about a 60% chance of winning this fight, but I think that I'm going to wait until the end of the week and take a look at Ronnie by decision when that line comes out, because I do think that the hand speed of both guys, Ronnie was able to draw Mana a couple times. He got dropped himself, showing a little bit of a weaker chin, and I think the submission expertise of the Said side is going to make the decision line get pushed a little undervalued in the eyes of the sportsbook, and that's where I'm going to be laying my money. Make sure you guys keep it tuned into the comment section in this video, because that's where I'm going to be able to update you guys as the live lines come out as I'm making this video. FanDuel and a bunch of other sportsbooks, they don't release their decision lines, their prop betting until later on in the week. So keep it tuned in here. I hope I supplied you guys with some information that was insightful that you might take to the betting window to help yourself win some cash. But nonetheless, I will see you in the next fight. I'm going to try and get some more betting videos out for this event.